Hello.
How are you today?
I'm pretty good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm really excited for today. I'm really excited for
Mm-hmm.
the talk we're going to have on this session of Sip and Tap. You see what I did there?
Mm-hmm.
On this new session.
Yes.
All right. So today we're going to talk about magic and not in the woo-woo sense, not in the, oh my God, let's go look at some magic tricks, but in the sense that the magic that is within human beings, even like animals and the things that we see around, and why that is important to remember that we have that within. Somebody, my friend Chelsea, said to me, "Hi, Chelsea." She had this realization when um, she was thinking about her past relationships and she thought about how great her relationships were. And suddenly, after it ended or the relationships ended, how she finally saw the person for who they were. And she realized that the magic she was seeing in them
Hmm.
came from her. Like she was
Yes.
the one who made them who they were. And I thought that's such a cool thing to think about. So
Yeah.
I went looking and I saw this one person talk about um, the glory, the magic of the universe is always at full display. So, for the example this person gave on TikTok, I think, was that when you go to like a park or a forest or the woods and you don't know what all the trees and plants are called, you just go, okay, that's a plant I remember, that's a plant I know, that's a tree I know, and then you come back. You don't realize how many kinds of plants there were. And then you buy a book and then you learn about the names of the plants, what they do, da da da. And then you go into the woods and you're like, oh my God, that's the fly trap, and that's the fern, and that's a ficus, and da da da, blah blah blah. So the only thing that changed was your ability to comprehend that magic,
Yeah.
whereas that was always there. And that's just fascinating to me.
Yeah. I think like you feel that sense of magic in the moment of discovery as well.
Mm.
Like think about, I believe when you texted me, let's talk about magic. And the minute like I was like, yes, because I think every single human being, and like you said, beyond human beings, have magic in them. And think about an infant, and the moment they start seeing colors because they don't at first, or they can't see more than like 6 inches in front
Yeah.
of them, everything's
Mhm.
foggy. And the
Yeah.
moment they start to see details, or
Mm.
you've seen those videos of the deaf children that first get hearing help for the
Yeah.
first time, oh my God, I want to like cry every time. Or the ones that get glasses.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh my God. They can finally see mommy and they're like, and then want
you
to touch everything.
you can feel the magic that they're sensing and they're
Yeah.
feeling in those
Yeah.
moments of discovery.
Yeah. That's so pretty. And that's sort of how you feel when, um, say you're reading a book for the first time and you come across this perfect line that describes how you felt at one time and you never quite understood how to articulate it and somebody did it for you, or listen to a song that just completely talks about how you feel or how you felt in the past. There's something to be said about the power of that magic that we have within. Like, um, when you decide that this is something, whatever you want to do, and you completely decide that and go for it, like there's no other, you could call it willpower, you could call it like anything. Somebody said, oh hey, you have this disease and you will never recover, da da da, and they make a miraculous recovery. That's magic. I don't know, like placebo, that has always shocked me. What is that? I think there's
Right.
that's something whenever a person comes into your mind and then they text you, like how does that
Yes.
happen?
Yes.
So tell me, I'm curious about if tell me some of the magical things that have happened to you. It could be small, it could be really big. Somebody singing the song you were thinking about, but let's talk about those magical moments.
Right. I mean, it definitely happens with Kelly all the time.
Mm-hmm.
We will think about each other and one of us will text. And so now we're both like, okay, now we really have to text you whenever we think about you because we're figuring this out. Like it's always popping up. Well, she'll probably text me today. Uh, I definitely have some other friends of like, once they get in my head, and it happens. And I truly believe that there's a connection there and it does, you know, build a sense of magic. Um,
There's something to be said about that at the first sight also, like when you meet somebody for the first time and you immediately know if this person is going to be in your life or not, like
I
within the
think
first five
even
minutes.
at either first sight or as you're falling in love, again, going
Mm-hmm.
back to that sense of discovery, the magic is in the discovery and
Mm-hmm.
that, and it can only happen when it's with both parties, right? You can feel some magic, but they may not be reciprocal. And going back to that breakup that you were talking about, it makes so much sense. But
Yeah.
every, relationship where you started falling, those were magical moments. Like the little moment where my husband put his hand on my chest, while we were laying down. That magical moment with just the touch,
Yeah.
like touching elbows, touching legs when you're sitting at the movies or something as small as that. And it's like sparks. It's literally magical sparks. Don't you believe it?
David, 100% believe it. David does this one thing, which I didn't even know that I would love so much. Like we would just be sitting on the couch watching TV, and he does this thing where like he would put his hand on my head and just sort of like pet me like so. I mean, in general, I'm not very touchy feely. But what is that? How does he know? Like, what kind of magic is that? Where when he did that for the first time, I was like, am I a dog? Because why am I enjoying this so much?
Yeah. Well, and isn't it interesting? I thought you were going to go a different way, but I do think this happens in adults is they shove that magic down. They like will
Oh,
ignore it. They won't let it just live, And I remember this is corny, but again, going back to kids and witnessing their magic, you know, the first time my daughter went to Disney World, she was 4. I was like, not excited. I'm not a crowds person. I'm like, oh my God, this is going to be horrible. She's too young, blah, blah, blah. She's in her Disney princess outfit running to the castle, and the eyes that she had just like, oh my gosh. And it's like Elsa. And she really, like, she truly embraced her magic. And I don't think adults let themselves all the time.
it is so true. I was just thinking about it the other day where um, when we were kids, nothing could stop us. Nothing could stop our imagination.
To believe the power to be excited, like
To
it's
live, to like you
to
said,
live.
discover, to
Hmm.
be to experience childlike wonder. I think logic is the exact opposite of magic. And
Yeah.
of course there are places in life where we should be logical, where we should be thinking about logic, but feelings of heart or workings of heart have nothing to do with logic, right?
Yeah.
I think that's why relationships, that's why the way um it's so kind of like when you're falling in love and like you said, like the hand touch, the little shoulder touch, and you're like,
It goes right up your arm, like.
tummy butterflies, what is that?
Hmm.
And so tell me that you brought up a really good point. Why as adults do we stray away from our magic, do you think?
I think we hold back from letting ourselves admit that we're excited, you know? Okay, this is silly. This is silly, but I got a new car recently. Had to turn over my lease, so it's not like I'm, filthy rich and can buy 5 cars. And so my daughter's gotten used to it. She knows like every time we turn over a lease, mommy's borrowing a car, we're gonna turn it in. So she always like wants to go with me. She's like, what do you get? What color is it? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, I'm literally holding back my excitement because she is just legit thrilled. And so she goes with me. She sits for 2 hours at this place while I'm going through all the stuff. She finally gets to see it. She's like, it's what? She's like dying. She's like, Mom, it has a big screen. And she's like, all the things. She's listing all the things that she loves about it. And I'm like, literally, I'm excited that there's a bigger screen than mine now. But I'm not letting myself, like be giddy like
Why?
a child. I don't
Why?
know. I don't know. And I'm mad at that because that was such a moment, where I could have just done it with her and just squealed. Like she
Yeah,
legit squealed.
I
And
would
I
have.
was inside.
Yeah, that is true. I feel like my theory is we never move away from the magic. We just don't want to show that we're still living our magic because it can truly never go away. I don't think that's, I truly think that that's being human. That's what separates us from
Agreed.
your AIs of the world and like that essence of being
I
a human being, you know?
Yeah, and I think society has, you know, put such a um importance on being professional and put together and normal, that it's not okay to be beyond excited. It's okay to be beyond angry, apparently,
Mm.
but it's not okay to be beyond happy.
I find it always very telling of our society that we say, don't be a child, but we say, act like an adult. So you
Yep.
do agree that we're all a child, just with adult emotions. Like in language, linguistically, what do we say? We say, don't be a child. Don't act like that. Don't be a child. And then if you're being a child, that'd be like, act like an adult. So you don't be an adult, just
Mm-hmm.
act like one. Because I truly think that there's acting like an adult is, that's what we're all doing. Nobody's like truly an adult. Like everybody freaks out, right? Everybody has those moments where, what do I do? What do I do? What is next? And da da da. And the solution for that is always the discovery of magic, where something inside you tells you what to do when you just settle down a little bit.
Do you have any, thinking of your moments of magic, do you have any physical displays of those moments?
Like when I squeal,
Yes, you do. Yep.
I think I squealed 5 times in this recording. I do want to say this. Um, for me, just because we were talking about why don't we let our inner magic out, for me, the way I grew up, I was told that I was too shrill or I was too sensitive. Anytime I would cry, I was too sensitive. If I would get angry about something, oh, like she's just always angry. And so there was no way to sort of express my emotions without being judged. It was always something. And so for some reason, I tried to not react outwardly for a very long time. Like I want to say throughout my teenage years, all the way to my college years, where I would be fuming inside and you wouldn't be able to tell. I would just poker face, right? And I don't remember when I made this discovery when I was like, I am trying to um, fit myself in to other people's uh, mind thing, like whatever mental image of me. And that's where I was like, oh, if my joy threatens your pain, let it. I
Right.
don't care. At that point, my joy, if that is a problem, then we should not be around each other because joy can only foster more joy. Love can only
Mm-hmm.
beget more love. It's when you want to be joyful. You will only be mad about somebody being joyful is when you want that secretly and don't cannot find that within.
Exactly. I was going to say, let's be honest. They're not angry at your display of your joy. They're angry that they don't feel
Their
they
lack.
can.
Yeah. That's how I feel about a lot of things. So whenever somebody's angry about anything, what you're wearing, what you're eating, what you're drinking, whatever you're doing, um, are you angry at me for doing it, or are you angry at you for not doing it?
Hmm. You know where the classic transition I think this is, or this lives, is teenagers, right?
Mm.
You know, it's that split audience of some have already transitioned into keeping their magic in, you know, and there's some that still let it out and, oh, you're not cool enough, or I'm too good for that, or those moments. I feel like that's the slow transition.
I know, and I hate it. I feel like if every kid was given the permission to just be, I was reading about, I don't know what I was watching, but Billie Eilish, I don't know if I'm like saying it right, Eilish, right? Um, they did not go to school, her and her brother. They did like they were homeschooled, and mostly their classes were designed for music because that's what their thing was. That's what their magic was.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and their mom was like really pushing, like really not pushing, but supporting,
Supporting,
like
right?
you should do this. And wonder, I wonder if every kid is just born with that kind of play where that's what they love to do. That's where they don't feel exhausted. Like for me, give me books, give me a pen and paper, good. I never,
Mm-hmm.
if I have music, I have pen, paper, things to write on, things to paint on, good. That's all I want to do. I don't want to do math. I don't want to do, I can do it. I like my brain is trained to do it because I went to school for all this other garbage, which I don't use. But I wonder if inadvertently us as adults, we have made systems, like for example, school, where, hey, learn everything, and then not enough to harness individual magic.
Mm,
And we shun
yeah,
people
or
when they have
allow,
individual.
we
Mm-hmm.
don't give the space to
Yeah.
dive in to that
Mm-hmm.
magic, right? Whatever
Mm-hmm.
that magic is centered around. It's very few get the space or are allowed that space to just explore, right?
And the support. And the support to be like, oh, hey, you like to do that? It's okay if you do more of that and less of science or math or whatever you don't feel excited to do. I think that makes us people pleasers. That makes us into these human beings who don't know what they want. When I came here, like I don't even know how many, 15 years ago, 10, something like that, 10, 12 years ago, people would say to me, like in conversations, like, I don't know what I want. And it was such a, I'm sorry, whenever somebody says that to me, I'm like, that's bullshit. That's bullshit. How do you not know what you want? And more than anything, you always know. So, for example, I don't know if I want to go to France or not go to France. Okay. If I tell you, hey, you are never going to France, how does it feel? If your body sinks, you go, oh my God, I really want to go to France. It's really very simple. If you want to find out what you want, what your magic is, what you want to pursue, it's really just spending more time with yourself, what
Mm,
you like, doing what you love, and just staying there, talking about it. Like, hey, I like to paint, I like to do this, blah, 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 whatever that will be. Um,
yeah,
yeah, but I think,
removing the I should,
yeah,
you know, and
yeah.
listening to your own magic.
And hanging with people who also listen to their own magic. I
Yeah.
think that is very important because nothing does more damage, especially in those formative teenage years, where if you want to have friends, if you want to have a social circle, and you're trying to fit in, but like if you're, let's say, you only want to fit in with the jocks, but you're not all jock, right? So you're doing yourself disservice. You're betraying yourself to make others like you or make others more comfortable. In those formative years, I think that's the most important, to
How
find
about
people.
too pointing out each other's magic, you know? And I go right to work being a manager and helping, creatives figure out where they're going to go and where they're best suited because there's many different directions. And a few I remember pointing to and saying, what's easiest for you? Well, I really like, getting in a room and concepting. And I was like, exactly. It's not easy for everyone. That magic lights up when you do it. So that's what you're meant to do. And it's like a lot of times it'll be the thing that's the easiest to you, that it's not as easy for everyone.
You just blew me. I'm trying to find what I was going to say, but you said it so perfectly. What is the easiest for you to do? Like what you could do for hours without being exhausted, what you enjoy doing the most. And I think, unfortunately, the world that we live in, when we, it always becomes about, yeah, but what are you going to do for your career? Right? So, for example, people went to school to have degrees that they didn't want, that their parents told them to have, to make sure that they have the career that they want and make the kind of money that they want to make. And then you have influencers, you have actors, like, I mean, that's also a job. I'm not saying that that's not a job. I'm just saying that there are easier ways of making money. And back in the day, like maybe our parents' generation just didn't think of all of those things because we're inventing new things every day.
Yeah.
So
and from now on, you can't even tell children like what they won't make money and what they will make money on, because there's going to be 50,000 careers to make. So
I think it's a magic killer. Of like telling them don't behave like that, or don't listen to that kind of music, or don't pursue singing, because how many people make good singers? You don't have to be a famous singer today. You can literally have a YouTube channel and you'd be fine. Like it, like I think that's where previous generations fucked up a lot on what use is magic when you have a family to feed, that kind of a thing. I truly think that if you do follow it, if you do like really invest yourself into the things that feel easiest, that come easiest to you, you'll have an easier life, easier way of supporting your family. I think you're rewarded in that way.
Or I will even say, like not everyone can shift their jobs and do something totally different, but you can explore it in other ways. Like for 15 years, I've coached on the side, and that's a magical moment for me. Is that moment with kids, that moment with youth, the coaching moment, which has actually taught me my own magic. And so I did it on the side to get that to fulfillment. And so I would encourage everyone
going to say that.
Just explore it, find some way to start exploring it, because you never know when that magic is going to like unleash and show you something that can take over your life. Right?
100%. I think you said something so awesome that I'm going to restate it. Through your magic comes your fulfillment. Pursuing, right? Like that's major, because that's literally, it's just such a more concise way of saying what we were trying to say for such a long time, that when you shun your magic, this happens. When you don't let it out, this happens and that happens. But the best way to say it is directly, like you said, pursuing your magic brings your fulfillment. And I think that's not pursuing it makes you unfulfilled, right? Like if you are deep down an artist and you are in a corporate job and you feel unfulfilled, you will always feel unfulfilled. And that's, oh my God, that was a mic drop moment.
As you discover it more and as you dig deeper, there are ways to pull it into your corporate job, as long as you have the right company to embrace it.
For sure.
I like to work with people. All right, we'll start like finding those opportunities. I like to sing. All right, we'll find those opportunities. There's many ways. And it's almost like if you can't do it all right now, it's still a sense of therapy at least that's what it is for me, you know, to at least make sure I can get that fulfillment coaching, through coaching kids or, you know, impacting others. I can
It
get that through there.
right, and then it makes you more of you everywhere else.
Yep.
Right? That's what I love about that. I think,
You bring that magic into your everyday life
yeah.
accidentally, I feel like.
Yeah. And I think that is so what we're saying is if you're unfulfilled in the area of your magic, you will be unfulfilled everywhere else. And if you feel fulfilled there, all areas of your life come together when you're fulfilled. That's something that it's so common to see people dismiss their own magic too, like
Yep.
themselves.
Yeah.
And to your point earlier, where like reminding people of their magic, or not even because nobody forgets, but saying, "Hey, great job," that goes a long way.
It goes a huge, it's something that they're obviously shoving down. So it's our, you know, it's our responsibility to pull that out of people that we love, you
Yeah,
know, and we have to remind each other of like, wow, you just wowed me. And someone might think, oh, I don't think that takes anything.
yeah,
Actually, it does because I couldn't do it. That's
yeah.
the thing that no, they're never gonna like say.
Because they
Tell
don't
someone.
exactly. I have a strange story about this. Um, in February, when my dog got sick out of the blue, my beagle Whiskey, um, and we were like just going to all these hospitals, and we ended up in the AMC in New York, which I'm just going to plug it in, the best hospital ever,
They did do a
ever.
good job.
Oh my God. If like your dog cannot be saved anywhere, or like any pet, to be honest, like they do all pets, but great hospital, love them. I'm so thankful for them. So when Whiskey had his surgery, I wasn't willing to give up. That's just not me. That's just not me, giving up on people or pets that I love. And it was time to bring him home, and they were like, that was miraculous. I don't know what you were doing. I don't know how he did it. And while he was in surgery from, I want to say 10 a.m. to 3 p.m., and I was praying the whole time. I was just like, Whiskey, you can, like in my mind, I was like, Whiskey, you can do it. Whiskey, make it through. Whiskey, Whiskey, Whiskey. And I was doing that. That was in February. Fast forward, this dog stands on his own now. He was paralyzed from waist down. He has lost 20 pounds since then. While being
While
bedridden.
being paralyzed.
Like while being paralyzed, while being bedridden, I would tell him that he can make it. And every single day I would be like, hey, you can do it, da da da, blah blah blah. And our last rehab, where like he's going to rehab to learn to walk again properly, they were like, we don't understand this case. And I sat there as 6 doctors were asking me all these questions. What did he do? How did he lose weight? Blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, all I did was tell him that I love him and that he needs to make it and he will make it. That's all I did. I did nothing else. And it's not just human beings, it's literally all beings. That's how, like, we can literally recover from diseases we have no business of recovering from, or
Yeah.
coming out of accidents like scratch free, and all of those things. I think to your point, reminding people of their magic worked on my pet. I think that was the only thing that I would tell him every day, 20 times a day. That's all I can remember, just being like every morning waking up and like, you're gonna walk, you're gonna walk, you're gonna do it, you're gonna do it. And now that he's doing it, he stands up on his own. He's not quite like walking fully by himself, but he can stand up, he can move his legs, and that's all I did. I just reminded him of his own magic, and I think it truly, truly works. If that could happen in my dog, imagine what can happen in people.
Right.
All right. Do you want to do our exercise?
Yes.
So I have the Kokology book here, and I have not read the key to this. It's called, I just found something that would be on theme. It's called Abracadabra Alakazam. Playing cards that dance through the air. Rabbits produced from a silk top hat. A lovely assistant made to disappear in a puff of smoke. Stage magic is simply deception raised to the level of entertainment. As you watch the performance, you know you're being tricked, but no matter how hard you think about it or how closely you watch the hands, it seems you can never put your finger on the secret. I do not know where this is going.
It's okay. We shall see.
But somehow the witty banter and the sleight of hand makes it all fun. And you sit back and enjoy the display of baffling skill. Perhaps the most important part of the magician's act is not in the mastery of the actual techniques or the preparation of the props, but in the ability to make an audience willing to believe. Promising.
Getting there.
Promising.
We're getting there.
Mhm. Wouldn't it be nice to have that same skill? Oh, well, tonight is your big chance. Your audience is waiting, and the curtain is about to rise. You are a stage magician. This is question 1, I think. You are a stage magician, just setting off on another long tour. Tonight is opening night, and you are waiting in the wings of the stage for your act to be announced. How do you feel in the moments before your show begins? I already know.
Okay.
Yeah? Part of your act, this is 2. Part of your act involves calling a member of the audience up on the stage to help you with the trick. Whom do you call to assist you? Give the name of the person you know. Oh. Damn it. Oh, hold on.
I don't
Okay.
want to call that person.
Okay. Done?
Okay. Mm-hmm.
I'm going with the easiest choice I have. Despite all your years of training and experience, somehow the trick goes terribly wrong. I'm not liking my choice. What do you say to the person you called up to participate?
Got it.
You're back in your dressing room after your act. How do you feel now that the show has ended?
Okay.
Okay. Key to Abracadabra Alakazam. Feats of magic are called tricks for a reason. They necessarily involve making people see things that aren't really there and miss realities that are staring at them in the face. Essentially, tricks involve deception and guile. And the way you pictured your own performance shows how you see yourself when it comes to lying or deceiving others, especially the people closest to you. I was confident as fuck. Okay. The first one, and the key to the first question. Your feelings as you waited to go on. Tell us how you would feel when planning or merely fantasizing about an illicit affair. What is happening? What? What? What is happening?
Okay. I'm sweating more.
It's not.
Okay.
Oh my god. Sorry, I picked this one. I just saw the magical title.
Some of them, it's hit or miss. There's one
I'm
other that I've
really
been
scared.
avoiding. Okay, so my thinking was, okay, I got this. I've done it before. Might mess up, but I think I can do this. So hot.
So excited. I'm so excited. I was like, I love the way I was thinking. I really love performing. Like I really love talking to people. Like I really love just look at my stand-up comedy, thing from my ad school. Like, I really love
Yep.
being on stage, being center of attention. So I was excited as hell. Like, I was so excited. Okay. So most people say something like, I hope I don't mess this up, or wow, I'm really nervous. But then there are those who seem to be immune to performance anxiety. I'm going to go out there and give them a night to remember. Having an affair? Great. Lovely. The person you ask to join you as your helper on stage is someone you see as simple, naive, or just a little bit of gullible. In short, it's someone you think is easy to deceive or lie to. If you happen to name your current partner, it would be a good idea now to reassure him or her that, of course, you'd never do anything like that in real life.
Well, yes, obviously.
Duh!
I think it shows that we are both very, very trusting of each other. And so, because we've never done it. So,
yeah, I was just. Did you also choose Calvin?
yeah. I
just,
tried to change it. I tried to change it.
My thing was David, because David and I laugh like little girls in middle school. That's how we laugh. We just giggle. And I thought that would be fun.
Right. I mean, I knew Calvin would come up and entertain with me.
Yeah.
So let's not go over what that means.
Yeah. Oh my God. Okay, so we think they're simple and naive. I don't think that. I think David is really, really smart, but I was just, I don't know. Who else would I choose? Okay, the words you said after flubbing your act reveal the types of excuses you'd make if you'd got caught cheating. I just apologized.
You did?
But I was funny about it. I wasn't like seriously apologizing. I was just like, it's me.
I looked
Wow.
at Calvin and said, "Oh fuck!" And we both just died laughing.
That's what I think. I think David would laugh with me, have fun with me. I don't think this is a wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Did you get flustered and turn red before blurting out, sorry about that? I didn't get flustered.
No.
I was laughing. Or did you just try to laugh it off and get on with the show? Yep.
Yeah.
Whoopsie daisy. Well, I guess that goes to show nobody's perfect. Or are you of the group that tried to pretend it was just a part of the act? That would be a neat trick if you could really pull it off. This is snarky.
It is.
Like, who are you talking to, book? Okay, I'm like, I don't know what's happening, but that was a lot. Illicit affair. Okay, last one. The way you felt after the act was finished is the way you feel after doing or saying something dishonest. That was nerve-wracking. What a mess. That'll teach you to go around tricking people. That settles it. I'm getting out of this business. There are plenty of more satisfying careers for an honest, hardworking type. You're probably not cut out for all the smoke and mirror stuff anyway. I'll get it right the next time. Some people never learn. Some people never learn. You may want to think about getting into politics, law, or used car. Is this okay? It's very exciting. Actually, I thought the whole experience was kind of stimulating. They say that once a fox has had its first chicken, it never forgets the taste. Wow. The way I felt after I finished was more like, that's done. Thank God it's over. That's what I felt. So
I was like,
that'll
well,
teach me.
I guess I gotta practice more.
Fox and the chicken.
This is not how I approached it in my thinking, I think.
I wonder, like, what is that? Like, an affair is so far away. Like, it's not even a thing.
I know. And like, I mean, I would dig deep and say, what if it is your magic? And so who is the person you saw? It's probably one that supports your magic the most. And you mess up. How do you respond? Oh, fuck, and laugh it off and keep going.
Yeah.
And then what do you say at the end when it went wrong? How do you feel? well,
do it better next time.
right.
Yeah, like that makes more. That's how I feel. Like that's like literally that feels. I resonate with that more, and that goes back to how we're talking about how everything is trying to tell us how to feel, how to
Yes.
be, how to think.
Yeah.
And this is one of those places where we trust our magic, where we trust our intuition. Like, yeah,
And
I
don't
don't
you
know. I've
think
never.
like exploring your magic is actually like you might feel like a magician, like you're tricking people because you don't know if it's really your magic. You love it and you're performing in front of an audience, you're performing in life, you're,
For sure. I
you
think it's
know,
absolutely very much like that every day. I feel like um there's this constant thing, this push and pull of how much of myself do I show, how much of myself do I keep, that kind of a thing. How much, like, how many people are safe to show the magic to, that kind of a
yeah.
thing. Like, I struggle with that on the daily, where like I'm not this
Mm-hmm.
way, which is funny because now this is on the internet, so it's different. But with you, I have always felt safe. I've felt safe from day one with that interview, the first time. Um, like you said, being on the stage is kind of like you being able to be yourself and show up in your magic every day in the world that is your stage. That's how did you feel? Did you feel good? Did you feel scared? That's how I would approach it. Who did you call on? Like you said, the person you trust the most, the person who supports your magic the most. You messed up. What do you say to the person? I don't know. Sorry. Ha ha ha. But that's because they support your magic. And so you feel safe with them. And the last one, like, how do you feel after? You feel relief. You go, okay, well, I'm going to do more work.
Got
I'm
through
going
it,
to, yeah.
right?
And going
Didn't
to
kill
just,
me.
I'm still here. I'm
Yeah.
still here. But yeah, I think that's way more believable for me than like I just want to hear a
Lying.
lie. No, what was that word?
Infidelity,
Illicit.
wasn't it? Illicit affair.
Illicit
That's what
affair.
it was. Yeah.
So yeah. Okay. I'm going to refill my glass and we're going to do a pep for people to get them more into their magic, to start believing more in their own magic.
Yeah, I will say while you fill, there's a magic in all of us, and it is in there. And every time you even just barely reach it, you can feel it. It's just about acknowledging that feeling. And so open yourself up, open your mind, open your eyes to those moments of fulfillment, those moments of excitement, those moments of like thrill, or even just contentment. And ask yourself, what is it about this that gives me that feeling? What is it about this that gives me that joy? And also don't ground it, like let it out. Let it out, like squeal or whatever you need to do. Do a little dance once you have that moment and just start to recognize the patterns. And I feel like we'll all find our magic.
I would just say that don't try to fit it in anywhere. It's by design not supposed to fit in. Um, it will keep calling you. It doesn't stop. It doesn't roar either. It's very soft. It's never urgent. It's never pressing, but it always like is intriguing and enticing. It feels like, what if I could do this and that? And the moment you arrive there where like society is telling you to do something and your internal sense, yourself is saying, well, but this is kind of like really awesome. I really enjoy doing that. And you come to a place where that's the crossroads where maybe I can fit this into this and I can do both. Um, don't try to fit it into anything else. Like maybe I can do this and make it a career. Maybe I can do this and make it a thing. It stands on its own. That's why it's so powerful. So my only piece of advice is just don't go trying to mess with it. Just like Carly said, just live it, fully and see what comes up. It will guide you. Your inner magic will guide you places effortlessly. It was good.
Yeah. And don't forget to tell each other about your magic.
Yes.
I think we need to make a pact to remind each other of our magic.
Always. We always do.
Oh, and I just finished.
All right. As I am spilling all over myself, we'll see everybody next week. Bye. Thank you, Carly.
Thank you.